Hey, Dan from Sigma Dogs here with a little bit different type of video today. I have some footage from my friend and world-class trainer Nino Drowaert. This footage is out of his Master View Path program, and it first has a young lady that is a student of his that is demonstrating the way that she currently trains based on her understanding of Nino's system. And then in the second part of this footage, you're going to see Nino working with the exact same dog, just I believe minutes later. Um, I talked Nino into making this footage available because I thought it is such a great, would be such a great ad for him, um, to show, the difference he could make in a short amount of time just by changing the manner or the type of handling. Um, I also had some very selfish reasons in that I wanted to show this to my students when I constantly try to get them to be more and active and more engaged with the dog. A big part of my training, of course, involves very dynamic, active movement and being exciting to the dog. My belief is that if you can get the dog to be very interested in you and engage with you, then you can dramatically reduce compulsion. It's much more likely a dog's going to want to run to you if they think something's good is going to happen, as opposed to the dog thinking that if they come back to you, they're going to get a butt kicking. I think that's just common sense, and I don't know how other trainers don't clue into that. So, with my own training, it has been highly influenced over the years. Just simply seeing before I had access to any of Nino's, paid footage. Um, just seeing his videos like over the years and the videos of his students, I've been able to really change the way that I train. When I first began training, everything had a lot of compulsion to it. I trained with a canine guy, and after a period of time, I became disgusted with certain aspects of it. Then I leaned more heavily to the positive reinforcement side, and of course, reliability went out the window. Then I found a good way of marrying the two, and I was, pretty happy with the results that I was getting and all that for a number of years. And then I started making the observations with dogs where yeah, I slowly became the dogs that I work with. Became much more interesting to these dogs than their own owners. Their own owners would say their names 5 times. The dog wouldn't even look at them, and yet the dog wanted to follow me around everywhere, and was glued to me, wasn't being reactive with other dogs. And the second I hand the leash back to the owner, the dog starts blowing up, barking at other dogs, pulling towards me. And I began to question why these things happen. And now it became very clear to me. First of all, if your dog trusts you to defend them in any type of situation, that's going to get rid of some of the reactivity. But now, when they're highly focused on you, they're not going to be as reactive also. When you go to teach them something brand new, if that student is very eager, or interested, and engaged, you don't have to fight with them to get their attention. And I don't want to put words in Nino's mouth, but that's exactly the premise that I work from. And if you go online and you take a look at Nino's students, um, they're producing very high level results, and you don't see dogs that are flinching with every single command. So in the previous footage that you just saw, I think many people would be very happy with, the young lady's performance, considering this is just a puppy. But now look at what Nino is getting out of the exact same dog. The dog is very active, animated, and you'll see in a very short amount of time that this dog becomes very in tune with the way Nino moves, and they function as a unit. You don't have two conflicting energies. You have a very cooperative team here where dog and handler become one. The dog very quickly learns exactly where the handler is going to be, and he, gets in that position. So the big thing you'll also see here is the dog. is continuously focused on the handler. You don't see him looking around and becoming disengaged. The dog's having a good time, the handler's having a good time. Dog and handler are both getting a good workout. I'm bringing all this up because, I think most people would say, well, Nino's work is, very specialized in that it's for working dogs only. And I would like to counter that. No, any dog that has any amount of reasonable food drive, you can do this sort of thing with them and get really good results. The big problem that I see with most dogs where people complain about problematic behaviors, including aggression, is that the dog is simply stir crazy. So, a lot of times the solution for a lot of these people is they simply want to take the dog out on a walk. Well, the walk, as I've identified in other videos, is extremely boring and not very fun for the dog. You take a dog out for 15, 20 minutes or even 10 minutes of this, the dog gets a big serotonin and dopamine dump. Their excitement goes through the roof. And when you bring them in the house, maybe they're a little bit excited and a little bit inappropriate for about 10 minutes. But after that, you can put them in the crate and they're happy to sleep. They're sated. Any dog with a little bit of drive, I'd really like to see people do more and more, with their dogs. In comparison to the other trainers that are out there, I think Nino has something very special, and I wish more people would model their own training after this. There are a number of other very expensive programs out there, and they pretend to be, the greatest thing since sliced bread. But we're not seeing dogs flinch, and we're not seeing dogs that obviously have been subjected to a ton of pressure or anything like that. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, Nino has come under criticism before. One world famous trainer even used the word monk or the words monkey moves. Well, you know what? If this is monkey moves, please sign me up. To me, this is a fantastic and great. When my promotion of Nino here, I can assure you is entirely sincere. Anybody that knows me knows that I won't promote anything that I don't believe in and simply am doing it for an ulterior motive. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed seeing this, and I hope that this will create a more clear image for some for what I'm trying to accomplish, even with their pet dogs. As I was saying before, even with pet dogs, you can do a lot of this stuff. And, it's a lot of fun. Both dog and handler get something out of it. And if you don't like interacting with your dog, in this manner or playing games with your dog, maybe dog ownership isn't for you. Maybe a nice cat or even a goldfish, but yeah, let's remember what a dog is supposed to do. They're supposed to run and chase things and, be active. Anyways, I hope to see you in the next video. But thank you very much again for watching this one, and have a great day.
This is the way left. Way too sloppy. That's how we need her. She might have been a little too slow on that sit. So let's do it again. Up. That's where we need her. Nice stretch right here. Okay.